Bro, yesterday I play 5 hours and I did not get Zen coin, bro.
No, he took it off yesterday.
Nah, yesterday it shown that you will get Zen coin for playing 5 hours.
I'm pretty sure he took it off yesterday.
Oh, it's very bad, bro. Why getting a code? Give me money. Hello. Give me a. I'm getting call in IC. Bye bye. Corrupt governor again.
Holly.
That's a good thumbnail.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, sir. What about you?
Pretty good.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. We are live. Yeah, I've been quiet way too long, man. I just can't take it anymore. This is starting to affect me personally. And you know, I'm gonna take it back to the beginning, and we'll start from there and kind of work up to where we are now, right? So, um, everybody knows the reason we had decided to start this community was because we were scammed in another community, right? People ran away with money. We were promised things um, that weren't delivered. I even had offered to buy um, their files at that time and start our own English server, and they basically wanted like $40,000, and I was like, no, I'm not paying you $40,000 for a server that has a bunch of bugs. So I didn't know anything about development, didn't know anything about running a server, didn't know anything about anything. And I took blind faith in two people. One was Colonel, and the other one was Darren, who are now starting Star Roleplay, which I'm going to talk about later on, which that's going to get shut down real quick because I own those files, just to be clear. My other company owns them. And so I put blind faith in them. Didn't know anything about development. Didn't know anything about running a server. Nothing like that. I did come from a 2K community. If you guys know anything about basketball, that's like the biggest communities. I had a community of over like 10,000 people in there, and I used to run that. And Sherry knows about it. He's competed in there before. And I left that just because it was very toxic. A bunch of little kids just talking shit, using N words and all this nonsense. And I just didn't want that anymore. I felt like I was too mature for that. So I left. I was looking for a role play server, and I had started off at Grand. Till this day, I'm still like top. I think it was like 60 or something like that. I haven't played it in like over 2 years. My account's still not banned, which is crazy. But I had left that because I was going to go to Crystal. Crystal is the one where we got scammed. I had actually put money in there as well as a donation, and then when that whole thing happened, that's when I offered to buy Crystal, and Ulick said no, it's gonna be 40,000. I said fuck you, I'm not paying you. We're gonna start our own, and then we started looking. Um, then we came across a server. Nobody had something unique, and that's what I'm saying. Like I own those files, which Star Roleplay is trying to launch with now.
Hi, Andrew, bro.
There's a reason. There's a reason I'm saying all of this is all going to come together at the end. Um, so we decided to do that. Colonel was the one that was the lead developer, and I put all my faith and trust in him, right? So we started in February. He said, give me 90 days, I'll have it ready to go. My job was strictly PR, and I feel like we did a great job. We had a lot of excitement. We even had like 100 people on, over 100 people on launch day. And our development sucked, right? The server was not ready. There was a lot of bugs. There was a lot of things that just weren't right. And that was after I was given a promise of 90 days, right? So then May came around. We did kind of like a soft launch type of thing, like a beta type thing, and it was horrible. And he didn't do any development. I was paying money out of my pocket. At that point, I had already invested about $20,000 USD. No money from Colonel, no money from Darren, all from my pocket, just to be clear. Okay. Then Colonel said, you know what? I need to move. I'm going back to Syria, but I don't have any money. Can you give me some money? I gave him $1,000 out of my pocket, which I have proof of everything, so he can help his family move to Syria. And he said, once I get to Syria, don't worry, I'm going to be up and running and all that stuff, right? And Elijah is aware of all of this, by the way. He knows he can verify all these details, and I have receipts of everything. So then he got to Syria. He was like, yo, like, because it was like a war location, all our internet wires are gone. It's going to take me some time. I'll go to the library. I'll work from there, things like that. I said, figure it out. You're supposed to be handling development, not me, and at that point, I had already started learning development. Like most of the changes that you guys saw in beta was me. And then it was Elijah that came in towards the end when we really started like making new events and all that stuff. But a lot of the fixing I pretty much learned on my own. Didn't know anything. I knew like basic stuff when I went to college, but not the type of stuff that I know now. So that happened. I gave him at least another 60 days. And then I pretty much told him, I was like, bro, you're not doing anything. Literally wasn't doing anything. Dead weight on our team. And there's no way I'm going to let this continue. The only problem I had was that he actually owned this server. So my biggest thing was give me this server, make me the owner, and go about your way. So he gave a lot of pushback. He's like, I'm not doing that, blah blah blah. And if you guys noticed, when I pretty much had him like, oh, I stayed quiet then too. I said, yo, he's dealing with some family issues. When things get better, he can possibly come back. If you guys remember, that was the initial message that I had given when Colonel left. Okay. Um, I try to do things the nice way, but people make the ugliness come out. So he did that, and at the same time, I paid him. I think it was like another couple $100, or up to it was less than $1,000, but I paid him almost another $1,000 just to have him leave. Can you believe that? He wanted it was like I think it was like a year of Discord, 3 months of like Proton or something like that, and a server that was paid for like a year or something. It was something like that, some crazy shit that he wanted, but he was like, I'll leave you alone, never bother you again. Have all of that in writing as well. And that he's never allowed to use his Zenith name ever again. And then he transferred this server over to me and he was gone. Okay. Now he's trying to launch another server called Star. Those files are my files. So I'm just waiting for him to launch. Once he launches, I'm gonna get that shit shut down. They're owned by me, not by him. And if he had paid, he would have known who actually owns those files. So that's to put that to peace, okay? Because I know the people that are leaving from here, they're thinking about that server. So I'm just letting you know, if you're thinking about that, what's going to end up happening. So don't waste your time, don't waste your energy. I told many people this before. Some listened, some didn't. That's okay. Now, the other side of it is now the players in the community, right? Because there's people that have been here from the beginning. Jack has been here from the beginning. Kratos has been here from the beginning. Lala has been here from the beginning. William has been here pretty much since the beginning. Um, Ghost, I think so. Habibi, you've known me for years. Albo's known me for years. I've known Albo since he was like 12, 13 years old, guys. Um, who else? There's a bunch of other people. Elijah I met in Crystal. Um, and yeah, I think that everybody else I've met here. Hatela I met in Crystal as well. Um, I mentioned Kratos, mentioned Lala, and whoever is here listening. I think yeah, those are like the main people that I kind of knew from before. Everybody else I've met here, and the there's a lot of things I want to say. There's a lot of things on my mind, and the biggest thing that I can say is, players influence players, and they only get to hear one side of the story. They don't get to hear the side of our side, right? Where I've invested at this point over $40,000 into this project. You can ask our admins, you can ask the streamers that are coming. We dropped almost $1,000 just to bring in new streamers, just so we can help grow the population, just so everybody can have fun. There's not a lot of other servers doing that at our size, where we have like 30, 40 people online. Those servers aren't dropping that kind of money to bring people in. Let's be clear about that. Okay. But I said I'm doing it for the community because I really want to grow. I feel like we're in a position to do that. And so now there's a few things that are happening, right? We have some people that have been here from the beginning that I feel like, they just because they have some virtual money, they feel like they can throw their weight around just to make things happen, just because they've been here for a long time. And I try to be quiet about it. I told them, don't bring shit to my main chat. I've told them, if you have problems, come to my DMs. I told them, um, if you have any other issues, go to forums. Let's handle it the right way, right? There's a system for everything. And for those of you that have worked with me, you guys know that I have a system in place. Just follow my system. That's all I ask. My system is not that difficult. Okay. You file a forum. If you don't get help, then you file it for project supervisor, and then Elijah or I will take care of it if you don't like the initial response. It's a very simple system. It's not that complicated. Okay. Now, if you choose not to follow that system, that's upon you. Then I can't help you, which is what people are trying to do. Okay. Um, I was forced to take admins' businesses before I wanted to. That was pretty much like something that they wanted to do, and they got it right because they made it a bigger issue than it needed to be, and they kind of forced my hand and said, "Hey, this is what kind of needs to happen so the players can be happy." Fine, I did it. Right? Admins lost all their businesses; they're fine with it, no issues at all. Okay, where the issue arises is when I have somebody like Osman. Okay, sorry, I'm just drinking some water. When I have somebody like Osman, who's been here from the beginning, who's part of the community, who is one of the richest in the city, um, that's been here since beta, that calls me his brother, and I call him my brother, and I've always looked out for him. And when he has an opinion, I listen to it. When somebody like him is going behind my back and telling players do not donate money to this server, okay? I am putting money out of my pocket to make this server run. So imagine if people are donating and then I have somebody that supposedly my brother is going behind my back and telling players, and I have proof of all of this, and he admitted to it too. He's DM'd me about it. And I have proof that this person is going behind my back and telling people not to donate. Okay, money's not an issue. I'm going to make the server run regardless, right? Whether people donate or not. I've never asked anybody to donate. I've never forced anybody to donate. I'm like, it's there. If you like the server, great, donate. But imagine that. Right? You're trying to run a server and you know donations help us. And I said, whatever donations we get is basically going to go towards media. But then you have somebody going behind your back saying these things. How would you feel as the owner? Would you let that slide? I don't think most of you guys would. Most of you guys would say, get that person out of here. I let that go. I let that go. And I said, for the greater good of the community, I'm going to let it
What's up,
go.
bro?
What's up? I said, for the greater good of the community, I'm going to let it go, you know, and it is what it is. Okay. That's one. Second thing, when we were releasing businesses, right, we decided to release because two businesses that were unique was dealership and it was tuners, right? Those were the only two businesses around for a long time, right? That were the only businesses. Nobody else could have another business like that. Tuners and dealership. Everybody knows that. Okay. Um, now, when it comes to that, um, we said, okay, because it's a unique business, we're going to put it on the Zencoin auction. Okay. And they said it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. I had Zen coins, I spent them, and it's not fair that you're putting it on the Zen coin market, right? That was a whole thing that we went through. I'm sure you guys remember that, right? And we changed it. They actually disrespected Elijah. Elijah had banned them. And I said, no, bro, like they've been here a long time. Kraken had left, Bean had left, Osman had left at that time too. Well, Osman was banned, and then Bean and Kraken decided to leave. And I went to Elijah and I said, no, bro, like, they've been here for a long time. They're part of the community. Let it go. All right. That's the second time now. And he was like, all right, bro. He's like, I'm trusting you. I'm going to let it go. Let them come back in. Let's change it from Zencoin auction to just a cash auction. Okay. And who ended up getting those businesses? Bean and Osman. Okay. And they've been riding that for a long time. Bean actually made a lot of money because before, right now, when you get a business, your stock is going to be zero. If you get a car, heli, or boat business, his dealership was already stocked. So that means any car that he sold was pure profit for him. So that's a whole nother thing I'm not going to get into. Okay. So imagine that, right? Pretty much forced my hand with that, disrespected management, still let him back in. Strike number 2. Everybody following me so far? Okay. Now let's continue going, right? Now they feel like my admins are targeting, right? We had a whole conversation about this as well. Oh, Corby's been here a long time. Corby's been with me since Grand, basically, right? Corby, I've known you for a couple of years now as well. I didn't see when you sneaked in here.
Yeah, I've been here since Grand with you.
Yeah. Corby, let me tell you guys something about Corby and Clarky. Okay. And oh, Damien was Damien and Albo. I actually bought my first family from. Welcome, Damien. I just saw you jump in. Damien has known me for a long time as well. What's up, Damien?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, one thing I'll tell you about Damien, Corby, Clarky, guys that have known me, and Albo too, but Albo's a little younger, little immature, but the four of them will tell you. And Rick is another one, but Rick's not here right now, and EC's another one. If I was doing anything wrong and I was doing anything shady, Saifu just joined as well. Saifu I've known since Grand as well. He was part of my family. Saifu I've known a long time as well. It's been years. So one thing I'll tell you about all these guys, if they had saw something wrong, that I was doing something wrong, and especially Corby because he's on the admin team, Corby spits straight truth, whether somebody likes it or not. And he decided to become an admin because he said, I want to help the players. Okay? That's one thing all of you guys know. Whenever you've needed help, if Corby's been around, he's been able to take care of your issues. Corby is all about the players. If he does not like something, he will voice it. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And those of you guys that work with us, you guys know that. So if we were doing any sort of targeting, if we were going after any sort of player, if we were that kind of team, Corby wouldn't be here today. I can promise you that 100%. Corby would have said, I don't like this. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Right,
for
Corby?
sure. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Exactly. If we were doing anything like that, if he felt Jack was doing that, if he felt like William was doing that, if he felt like I was doing that, if he felt like any admin was targeting any player, I promise you he would have said something because he sees everything. He's a curator of admins. He sees everything. He would have said something. I promise you guys that. And he hasn't, and he's still here from the beginning because he sees it all and he sees what we're trying to do. Okay? So I just want to clear that out as well. They came after our admin saying that we were targeting them when they were doing something stupid. Why did Bean get banned? Bean, I have a POV of Bean going into Legion parking, using his car, ramming a car all the way to the chop shop. Okay, first of all, that's bug and script abuse right there. Okay. Ramming it all the way to the chop shop and chopping a car so he can get money. All right. That's wrong. If he's an OG, he's been here a long time, he knows better. He shouldn't be doing something stupid like that. All right. He got banned for it. Yes, he got banned for it. And all he had to do was file an appeal. And what did he do? Instead, he came into our main chat. He's saying, Jack, can I lick your boots? Like, what kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense is that? Please tell me. You think that's respecting my admins? You think we want to tolerate something like that? Is that the type of community we want to build? That players can come and say whatever they want to our admins? Hell no. Hell no. I will not stand for that. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're brand new. I don't care if you've been here a long time. I will not accept that because I know the work that my admins put every single fucking day for you guys. All right? And sorry for my language, but that's how I feel. We've lost nights of sleep. We've spent time away from our family. There's been some sleepless nights where we're putting stuff together, right? We have our auction tomorrow that's coming. Jack was up until 4 a.m. his time trying to get those images together while dealing with all other issues, while taking care of his IRL stuff. All right, our
Sorry
admins.
for the interruption, Arjun.
What's up, bro?
What's the time right now, brother? Why
It's
you did not go to sleep?
8:34 a.m., bro.
But you need to take a tiffin right now. It's a morning lunch. Morning tiffin. You want to take it? No.
No, I'm drinking water, bro.
That's wrong.
Yeah. But
Then
look,
what's up,
these are
brother?
things that we're doing for the community. You know what I mean? Like, I want to ask why Kiri. Who the hell is Kiri, bro? Kira, you mean?
I think so. He is not
Kira
hearing.
left. He was inactive, bro. Oh no, they're typing in chat. I'm reading it. Kira was just inactive, bro. Kira I've known for a long time. I've known Kira since Grand as well. I've known him for a long time. He was just inactive, bro. That's all. This guy trying to be sarcastic. He thinks he's in some kind of position. Who's that? Chill, bro. Crimson, chill, bro. Dogs bark, nothing else. Yeah, I mean, look, I still respect them, bro. I message Osman and Bean after. I have nothing to hide. I messaged them and I told them I was like I treated you guys like brothers, but the way you guys behaved, you guys kind of did it to yourself. There was a lot of things I let go, but like I said, I won't accept my admins being treated that way at all. I don't think it's fair. Because these guys are not your servants. Like I've said before, we are here to work with you guys, but we're not here to like listen to whatever you guys want to say, and you feel like you can talk whatever and talk and do and say whatever you want, and you won't get punished for that. Yeah, I don't work like that. I'm sorry. Okay. Um. So another thing happened. They felt like because I was mad at them, um, that's the reason I opened up another tuners and I opened up another dealership. Well, here's the thing, they forced my hand and they said, okay, all admins need to give up their businesses. And I said, okay, no problem. Then I said, you know what, let me take a look at all businesses. Which two businesses ended up coming out that we don't have another one of, which are basically a monopoly, which means they can set whatever price they want in the dealership and people have to accept it or not. That was a dealership. Same thing with tuners. They can set whatever price they want and people have to accept it or not. So I said, okay, to make it fair, I'm going to introduce two businesses. And if you notice, I put it all the way on the other side of the map. I put them all the way up in Polito. Okay. And I said, okay, so this, if they see that, okay, it's a little cheaper there, then I'm going to go there. Or that's going to make them readjust their prices and say, okay, if this person's putting it for this price, then I'm going to lower mine a little bit too, just so it's a little more fair. And so the new players that are coming in, they don't feel like they're getting ripped off when they're going to a dealership or when they're going to tuners. I think that was a fair move, right? I think that's pretty fair, right? Um, so that's pretty much what I ended up doing, just to kind of even things out. And they thought it was a direct shot at them. It wasn't. It was just to even out businesses. All right. So all in all, I've been quiet about all these things, right? There's been bunch of other things. They've gone to the point, and I understand this was in personal DMs, but they've called my admins gay. They said if I see this person, if I ever saw this person IRL, I would do this to them. And okay, that's fine. That's in their personal chat, but that tells you how they really feel. So if you're here, you're saying you're my brother, that you support me, then really support me. You know what I mean? Do something that's going to help the community. Don't do things that are going to hurt the community, if that makes sense. You know? And these are I see it all, guys. I just choose not to say anything sometimes because that's better. But some people just can't control their emotions. They really need to learn how to control their emotions and say, all right, maybe I feel there's been many times I wanted to curse somebody out, but I said, you know what? Let me just take a minute. Let me gather it. Uh, how is this going to affect the community? That's what I've always thought about. How is this going to affect the community? If it's going to be negative, then you know what? It's better I don't say anything at all. Let it slide. When I cool down, then I'll respond. That's how a mature person handles it. We're all grown men and women here. All right. Let's act that way. But when you're going to do these things like going behind my back telling people not to donate, which hurts me directly, when you're going to pretty much disrespect my admins, when you're going to script and bug abuse, when you're do all these things, why should I stay quiet? Why should I let these things continue to happen just because they've been here a long time? I don't think that's fair. If they've been here a long time, they should know better. They should know how I like to operate. And they should know, hey, you know what? Let's do things the right way so we can grow the community, not hurt the community. That's the way I view things. I'm a very simple person. Don't mess with me. I don't mess with you. Even if you mess with me, I'll let you go one time. I'll let you go two times. But third time, I'm not letting you go. You will fucking feel the wrath. All right. Like I said, I've messaged Bean and Osman. Still nothing but respect for them. I love them like my own brothers. I always have. Whether they have or they haven't, that's up to them. But that's how I feel. All right. I'm gonna leave it open to discussion. If you guys want to talk, you guys want to ask some questions, go right ahead. But I feel like I've been quiet way too long. I just don't. I won't accept it anymore because we're trying to grow. We're really trying to do some things. I was showing the leader of NG yesterday. We're working on a NG factory. This is something that we've been working on since beta. Now I was like, I think this is a good time. I'm going to introduce it with the battle pass. But there's an NG factory where NG will actually have to make their guns and ammo and everything, and then orgs will be able to place their order, and then NG will have to deliver it to them. So you no longer have to wait for the other org. We're working on humane labs where EMS can actually go build their epinephrine and make their epinephrine, make their med kits, and then same thing, EMS will place the order and then they could get delivered, and humane labs can get robbed as well. That was another thing. I was thinking about possibly self-revive kits where somebody can kind of put themselves in a corner, self-revive, and then continue combat. But if we do that, then we're going to need mercy kill, right? Which I know Francisco had asked about, because then if you don't want that person to self-revive, then you finish them off and then they can't come back into battle. Like, these are some of the things that we're working on, guys. These are some great ideas. I was also working on a real estate thing where you can put your property for rent. Where if you want to sell your property to another player, you have to get partnered up with a real estate agent that's in a company. So it would be a module you unlock under your company. You could have a real estate company, and then if somebody wants to sell their house, they list it through you, and then your company basically owns the rights to it, and then you can go and like basically do like an open house, and then you can sell and make a percentage, obviously, of the sale as a real estate agent. Like, these are the things that we're trying to work on, but here I am trying to deal with these dumb issues where if players just followed proper procedures, we wouldn't have these issues. You guys see where I'm trying to come? Like, these are the things we're trying to do. But if I'm dealing with these issues on a weekly basis, how am I supposed to focus on all the other things that we're trying to do? All right, I'm gonna leave it open. Sorry, I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I know, Drake, you had unmuted yourself. You can go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so I want to speak on this because, like, me and probably Saifu were like probably the closest to them over the
Yes.
past few months, closest to Osmond and Mr. Bean.
Mm-hmm.
And like they kind of went too far. I do agree. Like ban is it's fair. It's a fair result. I agree with it. And I respect it. And after you saying you spent $40,000 over probably $40,000 at this point on the
Yes.
game to
Mm-hmm.
develop it and promote and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's major respect in itself. That's a lot of money to spend. A lot of us probably haven't even made that much money in our lifetime. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's and for them to say let's not donate. Probably one of your biggest donators. I've probably donated close to $2,500
Yeah,
in this server.
you've donated
So
quite a few, yes.
yeah, so
And I
like I'll
respect that,
keep
and
donating.
that's why I
And
also
like
try to make sure I put my best foot forward, because I'm like, these people believe in me. They see the good in the server. That's why they're donating. So I better make sure I do whatever I have to do to develop a good server. You get what I'm saying? Like, because then
yeah,
that tells
exactly.
me you guys are enjoying this. You want to see more. So that tells me and my team, hey, we need to do more, you know?
Like I'm gonna keep donating. I'm not gonna donate
And I
just because
appreciate you for that,
Osmond.
bro. I really appreciate you for that.
Like yeah, of course, bro, of course. Because I understand you're putting it into streamers, which I see what you're doing. You had what was it like 6 streamers in that VC yesterday, and then they
Yeah.
brought the people
They're gonna
with
go
them
live
as well.
today. Yeah.
So yeah, and they keep coming back too, which is really good. So but yeah, at the end of the day, Osmond and Mr. Bean should have just really went to the right paths about it. They should have went to the forums. They shouldn't have been so against the forums.
Yeah.
And I think the thing was too, they were so against the forums because they had a lot of forums against them in the beta, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of turned their whole like perspective into like, I don't want to
Yeah.
make a forum, it's extra work, and I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
save POV. It's all, but at the end of the day, we need proof, we need
Exactly.
POVs to really make good and
You
a
bring up
good
two good
judgment
points.
call
Yeah.
to really make a proper consequence or whatever the case may be. You
Mm-hmm.
need POV to make a good judgment call. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But you go ahead.
Yeah, you bring up two really good points. There was one point I actually completely missed, which I'm going to talk about, and this will tell you guys what kind of person I am. But when it comes to the proof, right? I know one of the biggest complaints I got was Jack is always asking for proof. Guys, there's a reason Jack needs to ask for proof, because if he gives something to someone, if he does something, and I'm checking him on it, then he needs to be able to answer those questions and say, "Hey, this is why I did this because I have this proof." You know, if he just does something and he just believes you, like example, "Oh, I lost my property. How do I know you didn't sell it to state, made a profit, and now you're like, all right, I'm gonna get the property again?" You get what I'm saying? Like these are things that people do that we need to check. And that's why he always asks for proof. That's why he has to check the logs. He has to do all these things before he just issues something out. Because then I'm gonna check him. Because these are things that can ruin the economy. Does that make sense? And then there's one more thing. Let's you were talking about like being an Osman, right? One last thing, I'm gonna end it with this. I don't want to continue it on for too long. We've been going for half hour already. So um when I introduced certain amount of hours that need to be played to keep your business. So I simplified it now. If you guys saw, it's 50 hours that you need to play in a month, which I think is very reasonable. If you get a 50-hour car, you'll be able to keep your house or your business, okay? That's just to make sure that if you buy it, you're not just sitting on it, you stay active, right? When I introduced that, if you guys remember, Bean was away for work, right? He was like, I'm going to lose my business and all this stuff, right? And I was going to implement, when I made the announcement, it was February. I was going to give them 2 weeks, which was until March 15th, um, to pretty much everybody get their hours up so they can try to keep their business. Okay. And he basically messaged me. All right. And let me tell you, let's talk about targeting, favoritism, all this nonsense. Okay. He told me, he's like, I'm back on the 15th. Can you give me some time so I don't lose my house or business? And you can ask him this and confirm it with him. I said, don't worry about it. I kept telling him, I said, don't worry about it. Just get in. Don't worry about it. Just get in. Don't worry about it. Just get in. So I actually extended that time from March 15th to April 1st. If you guys notice, April 1st is when everybody started losing their houses and business. Okay. I extended it by 2 weeks just for him. And this is how he's going to behave. Let's take it a step further. Okay. And Jack will probably curse me out for this. Okay. Osman got banned. What was everybody's concern when Osman got banned? He's going to lose his Playboy mansion and he's going to lose his tuner's business. Okay? Everybody was like, we don't know if he is or if he isn't, because there's certainly, it's like an average that you need to play, whether it's 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. It was a very confusing system. So I said, let me simplify the system and just make it a certain amount of hours within 30 days. Once I make that move, automatically he's not losing his business just because it's 50 hours. He got his 50-hour car. That means he's gonna be able to keep his business and his house. All he had to do was just serve his time, which was a week from now. So whether I made this move directly, whether I made it indirectly, I mean, it's easier now. We just know you got to play 50 hours in 30 days and you'll be fine. And it doesn't reset, it's just rolling. So it just continues, it doesn't reset at any point. But those two moves were made with the community in mind, with the original people in mind. And those are the two same people that went ahead and did this and acted like this. I'll leave it at that. That tells you how much I try to look out for the community. But if they're gonna behave like this, I'm done for, bro. I'm not gonna accept it anymore. But I did it for them, and this is how they behave. They're not welcome back. I'm sorry. They can file any forum they want now. They're not coming back. So let's continue on, guys. The streamers should be going live today. We did some updates. They should be going live today, from what I was told. We do have an event. I think it's at either 1600 or 1700. I don't remember. Mavi, you're not coming back, bro. That's it. Simple. No, I'm kidding, bro. Don't worry about it. They're just not coming back. Let's continue to grow, guys. We've been hitting around 35 people every single day. So I feel good about that. Some days we're touching 40, and that's without the streamers. The streamers had about 30 people ready to come. We were just dealing with some issues on our side, which we fixed. So with that, I know I've been talking about it for a week, but that should double our population. This is a move that we made for you guys, They're going to be on gang side, so just make sure Leo side that we have enough people to kind of fight them and combat that. And that's it, bro.
Are you coming in that event?
I don't know, bro. I actually supposed to be working right now.